Fall 2023. I've said that recent seasons have been packed, but never like this. I've watched about 50 new shows, and it's been hard to keep up, since I've barely dropped anything, even with the drop button at the ready. I've been begging for shows to just drop in quality or be bad, but I've just had a lot of fun with all of them. Well, most of them. And if I try to talk about everything, this video would come out in 2024. So this time I'll quickly go through a bunch of shows that I've liked so far, divided by categories. If you're interested in hearing about any show or sequel not mentioned here, that's gonna come up on the usual tier list video. So if you want to stay updated, hit that subscribe button, and you'd help me and the channel, so please and thank you. Anyway, this is gonna be a little hectic, but let's do it. Let's start with straight up crazy goofy fun. There's a lot of shows to talk about, but the first one that jumped into mind is the 100 Girlfriends Who Really Love You. From past videos, I've been clear that I'm not a fan of the harem genre, so I wasn't super excited for this one. But it convinced me real quick that it was going to be a riot. Our main guy Rentaro, the hopeless romantic, has a rejection streak going on, and prays for his luck to come around. Unfortunately, God blessed him too hard, and now is destined to have 100 girls fall in love with him. The rule is that they have to physically touch in order to start the reaction, and obviously we have 2 girls who do, and it's complete madness already. Crazy reactions, real good voice acting, and some of the best visual gags. It's so refreshing to have a show like this not take itself so seriously. Sure, it does rely on fan service a lot, but nothing's been bad enough to stop enjoying it. Will it stay perfect? I'm not sure. The guy having to juggle all these girls is gonna be tough to manage, but if they nail it as well as these first episodes, I think we're in for a really fun time. And as for crazy, Undead Unluck definitely fits that. A girl cursed with terrible luck, to the point of harming others just by touching them, crosses paths with a guy who is virtually immortal. He regenerates and can't bleed to death. He's here to test out the girl's power to see if that can finally end him. And a really weird relationship starts. I mean, just see how Undead flies through the air with blood propulsion from his hacked off limbs, and tell me that isn't insane. And again, it's hilarious. Quick jokes out of nowhere that combine with some awesome creative action sequences. David Productions does a super job with this. Closest comparison I can think of is Kill la Kill. Crazy action, funny gags, somber moments, and some risque stuff. But again, it's way too fun to stop me from liking it. I just hope it nails the story going forward. And if I had to mention a couple more, Vexations of a Shut-In Vampire Princess is kinda similar to both of these, although it does lean more into some questionable characters, and no concept of personal space whatsoever. Considering it's by Project Number 9, I'm not surprised. But still decent. Migi and Dali might be the craziest one, but I'm still not convinced if it's good enough. Definitely has the feel of the author's prior work, with the funny, almost eerie way these characters act and move. But since it's actually supposed to have a mystery plot to it, I have a hard time grasping if something is funny or downright creepy. It does have some great moments that have killed me though. Shit! There are a bunch of video game shows, and while there's varying quality, there are 2 standouts. First, Shangri-La Frontier. Main guy loves going to trash games and beating them, but one day is convinced to try out this world's best VR game. And as he enters, and uses the most underpowered character stats, and a bird's head, he immediately loves how good it is. With the great combat, the feel, and how it challenges him, and is portrayed really well with the great animation, especially for the fights. You expect a lot of over-explaining of the world and the power scaling, but it manages to make it interesting to watch. It feels like the most promising parts of Sword Art Online, but without the need of the death game scenario, and the other SAO stuff. Overall, a very welcome surprise so far. And just to mention it, the Scott Pilgrim anime is great. Science Seru nails the feel of the comics with the great character animations, the action, the video game effects, and the soundtrack. The nostalgia for the movie made me see it in English, but if you're not into it, the Japanese version is just as good, if not better in some regards. And if you're on the fence because you thought it might be a one-to-one adaptation to the film, because that was me at some point, don't worry, check it out for yourself. Let's just say I really like what they've done with it. We've got a pair of racing anime. Overtake is a story of a teen with much to prove in the Formula 4, mixed with a photographer who lost his love for taking pics. Both help each other in getting ready for the race scene, but also emotionally. You stay for the good action, and for the feels as well. And MF Ghost has a Eurobeat soundtrack. I've been having fun with this one too. Both show their love for the racing scene and the knowledge of how the cars work, and that makes for some fun, hype moments in the races. But MF Ghost really lacks in the interactions off the track. Cut and dry characters and some very cringy moments, like older dudes hitting on teens, flag girls, and the poor romance. It feels dated. But again, hit that Eurobeat soundtrack, and that's been enough to keep my attention somehow, regardless of the cons. They know how to make some moments exciting. So if you're a car fan, you're set. We've also got a couple of mystery/crime solving anime. Ron Kamonohashi's Forbidden Deductions is the most straightforward. A rookie detective is willing to do anything to solve big crimes, so he gets the help of a prodigy mystery solver who is super wacky. Oh, and he has the power to make the guilty person unalive themselves, so that's why he got banned. But with the help of the rookie, they can prevent this from happening, so the team up begins. Just like Undead Murder Farce last season, the interaction between the main guys makes it fun to watch, and luckily the cases and the origin of this guy's power are good enough to be the plot. Not as great as Undead, but it has my attention. Pluto came out of nowhere. Based on the Astro Boy series, this seinen spin-off takes this futuristic robot world and focuses more on the unheroic side of war, the racism towards this ever-growing artificial community, and how more closer to human these AI feel. All this while the main plot encompasses the question of what, or who, is killing the world's greatest robots, and the humans who help create this advanced world. It's chilling, and very gripping. Designs remind me of Monster, and I feel the storytelling of various points of view echoes some of what that show did before. It's very well paced, great looking, and can evoke a lot of emotion and thinking. Even if you don't know the original series, like me, I'd still easily recommend it. And we also have the Apothecary Diaries, which kinda fits. A girl obsessed with medicine is kidnapped and placed as a service aide in the royal palace. The top guy finds out about her and her knowledge and is appointed as the drug maker and food taster. But she's just happy to make some drugs. So imagine we combine Dr. House while the girl goes all Heisenberg.
Wanna cook?
Immediately the show jumps out with the gorgeous designs and beautiful colors, and considering it's a historic Japanese kind of anime, the characters are still really fun to watch. Main girl is such a great protag and the side characters really add to this rich world, and it's not afraid to be goofy, which I always appreciate. Yet another great one so far you might have missed in this awesome season. Speaking of missing, probably the most overlooked category this time has been the slice of life genre. Stardust Telepath is a cute girls doing stuff anime following a very shy girl who is so introverted that her goal is to go to space and find aliens to actually talk to. And out of nowhere, a pink-haired girl claiming to be an alien comes into her life. I mean, she has powers, like the super effective forehead mind read, but also seems to have amnesia. She's super charming and fun, and really cares for the protag, if you know what I mean. Other girls join, and somewhat reminiscent of the wonderful do-it-yourself, they decide to build a rocket ship to space. Just by the good visuals, you can tell it's super cute and charming. Typical for these kinds of shows, but what it does right so far. Kind of like My New Boss is Goofy. Really wholesome stuff, and a premise similar to Play It Cool Guys, with the good-looking dudes getting into awkward situations. This one does lean more into boys love territory, so I dropped it, but I'm sure that if you're into that, you'll have a great time. But the one I've barely seen anyone talk about is the Yuzuki family's 4 sons. 4 brothers have to learn to live on after both their parents pass and try to stay a strong family. It's such a simple premise, but it's so good. Since the brothers vary in age, we get some impactful and emotional scenarios. How to be the bigger sibling, what happens when you lose a friend, the loss of social opportunities because of your family, the overarching loss of family members, and how to heal from it. Again, it's nothing we haven't seen, but it executes it so well. The characters feel real, the visuals aren't afraid to use different techniques to convey heavy scenes, and you just want to see these boys be okay at the end. It's a shame it's not more popular. If you want something more down to earth and some feels, this is a huge yes from me. And finally, we have an insane amount of fantasy/isekai this time. Heck, I'd take the whole video to explore just that. I'll go deeper in the tier list, but regardless of all of them, it's easy to say that Frieren is the flat-out star. I'm sure you've heard it from others, but what the majority has said is true. This show is something else. Instead of focusing on the usual party of adventurers going against the Demon Lord, this story takes us to the aftermath, and focuses on the main girl Frieren, an elven mage who has lived for over 1,000 years. While this victory is life-changing to the human members, it's pretty much just another turn of the page for her. So she just goes back to her hobby of collecting spells throughout the land. We get treated to this montage where she's casually exploring and doing the usual, and it's like a typical week for her. But in reality, we just jumped 50 years into the future. If you pay attention to certain details, you'll notice differences in her environment, or people she talks to. This is what sets Frieren apart. The perfect representation of the passage of time, portrayed with the beautiful visuals. Characters, backgrounds, magic, all the tiny details, it's so expertly done. And the soundtrack just bundles everything up for peak fantasy. In this new arc, she'll go through the pain of seeing her friends age and pass away, and it dawns on her how important and beautiful those connections were, regardless of how minuscule their time with her was. So she vows to create new connections, and truly appreciate them. The emotion this made me feel was heavy. It really makes you value the little things we get to live in this limited time we have in this world. And having depicted all this in only one episode is some masterful stuff. Huge contender for anime of the season, and easily up there for anime of the year. The hype is indeed real. And those are some of my picks for fall 2023 so far. Thanks for watching. I really hope this helps anyone who feels overwhelmed by this insane season. I really wanted to cram everything in here, but time constraints really don't help me, and I don't want to just swing it, you know? But let me know in the comments what shows you're watching, and if you enjoyed the video. And again, subscribe if you want to be notified when new videos come out. I'll tier this with every show I've seen is coming, as well as the best of 2023 video, so please stay tuned. And as always, it's been Jules, I hope you have a great one, and I'll see you all for the next one.